Hello, everyone. It's Ursula from Uniquely Ursy. Welcome back to my channel. I'm coming to you with an update. So, before I begin, let's get this session started. So, come closer. Come close. I got a secret. You want to know what it is? Okay. Well, because I love you all, and you're my subscribers and my followers, and you've been supporting me, and even if you're a new watcher, before I tell you my secret, click that like and subscribe button below and follow my journey. So, what's my secret? Hmm. Well, your girl has been cleared to transfer. Embryo transfer is going down next week. Cling, cling, cling. I'm about to get knocked up, y'all. So stay tuned and I'm going to give you the deets. Okay, so when we last left off, I mentioned that I was clear to go ahead and begin preparing for the frozen embryo transfer. So that started with I had to meet with I'm using CMY Fertility, and I had my call with Dr. Corley. And once the ultrasound came back, it showed that my uterus was cleared and healed, and the I was cleared to go ahead and start my transfer. So I called, I'm looking at my notes if you see me looking down. So I contacted CMY on May 20th to start my transfer, to start baseline. And I had an appointment on May 25th for my first, oh, sorry, let me clear. Sorry about the cutoff. My nephew is here visiting, so he showed up. I had to open the door up. So back to my story. So on May 27th, as I mentioned, the ultrasound showed that I still had some fluid in my uterus. So my doctor at CMY recommended they put me on the antihistamine protocol, which is basically they had me started taking some allergy medication. Because on the 27th, I had just like a little bit, it was starting to drain out. And I realized during that week when I thought about it, I had been sniffling and was congested. And so it's allergy season. It just totally skipped my mind. So they put me on an antihistamine protocol. And my uterine lining was looking really good. They wanted me to be at an 8 or higher, and they want the fluid gone. So they scheduled me for a third ultrasound follow up on May 31st, and I started taking the antihistamine protocol. So that was Pepsid. They had me taking, this is a generic of Claritin and Benadryl on top of the other medications that I had. And I continued with the Lovenox and the Estrace and all my other medications, the prenatal vitamin, the prednisone, Lovenox, the LDN, all that. So I started taking that, and lo and behold, I started noticing that my congestion was gone. So I enjoyed Memorial Day weekend, and on Tuesday, May 31st, I went in, and the prayer was that the fluid would be gone because then I would be cleared to be able to transfer. And when I went in on the 31st, let me tell you before how hard it is right now. I don't know those of you who are currently preparing to do an embryo transfer, but here in Jacksonville, there's only one clinic who are doing transvaginal ultrasounds. And you need to have a transvaginal ultrasound in order for them to be able to look at your uterine lining and measure and see the thickness where you are. So just getting an appointment to get my transvaginal ultrasound was a hurdle. And praise the Lord, the only clinic here in Jacksonville that's doing transvaginal ultrasounds happens to be my local reproductive endocrinologist office. So let me tell you, when I tell you that God is truly in this, and I know that this is my season and that this is going to work, I was frantically calling around. I called like imaging places, 4 or 5. I called emergency rooms. I called hospitals. My local OB/GYN is not doing this transvaginal ultrasounds, and the Holy Spirit finally told me to go first thing in the morning. This was back on May 25th, because I initially had an appointment at an imaging place, and when I got there, they were like, "Oh, we're sorry, but we're no longer doing those type transvaginal ultrasounds." And the person who scheduled you should have told you that they messed it up. And I had to have an ultrasound. It was a stat order to have it that day. So I was like, at that time, I had my appointment was 7 a.m. My RE's office doesn't open until 8 o'clock. So I left the imaging place and went directly to my RE's office. And I said I was going to camp out, cry, beg, plead if I had to, because I had to have a stat ultrasound that day because I wanted to start the process. So I got to the reception. Let me tell you, the kindness of people. This is where I tell you my mother and so many people will tell you kindness will get you so far. I waited at 8 o'clock. I went upstairs to the RV's receptionist and I was like, please, I had the order in my hand. And I was like, I really need help. I have to have this order today. I beg you, can you fit me in? I'll camp out. I'll wait. I told my job, like, I have an emergency and I will come into work later, but I have to have this ultrasound. And the receptionist was so wonderful. And the RE staff, my doctor's assistant, the woman who handles outside monitoring, she came out and she said, "We'll fit you in. You just have to wait." And let me tell you, I didn't wait even 30 minutes, but they got me back in there. They got me there back, and I was able to have my ultrasound and start the process. So that's just a little caveat. I don't know what's going on. I mean, we know there's shortages everywhere, but who knew that there was shortages in getting a transvaginal ultrasound? As I mentioned, there are 3 fertility centers here in Jacksonville. And my clinic, the Jacksonville Center of Reproductive Medicine, also known as JCRM, is the only one in the entire city of Jacksonville that are doing transvaginal ultrasound. So I am so grateful. Thank you, Jesus, that I was able to get appointments. They accommodated me the rest of the time so that I'm so glad before when I had my follow with my doctor, Dr. LaPerry, at that time I asked him if he would do my outside monitoring and he said, of course. Yes, I will. No problem. So when I went into when I camped out and ran to the Mari's office on May 25th, almost in tears, literally about to cry. I said, please, I need a transvaginal ultrasound. The outside monitoring coordinator went and talked to my doctor. And the only reason why she was able to fit me in is because I had already discussed it with my doctor, Lapari, and he said, oh, yes, I remember Ursula. And I did tell her I would do the monitoring. So, yes, fit her in. If I hadn't already discussed that and had the forethought, thank you, Jesus, to bring it up and ask for him to do my outside monitoring, I don't know what would have happened. I would have had to wait because, as we know, when you go to any of these clinics, there's wait lists for weeks and weeks. So, anyway, side caveat. Just getting to the ultrasound and getting an ultrasound was a task and a hurdle, and I'm so happy and elated to have been able to do that. Okay, so now we're back to May 31st, and I've been on the antihistamine allergy protocol, and it's time to see where my lining is, and the goal was that the fluid would be gone and that my uterine thickness would be at an 8 or higher. So I go in in the morning, and the ultrasound showed that the fluid was gone and my lining was at a 9. So it was perfect. It looked great. She said, oh, yep, we're good. They saw a little bit of fluid, but it was near my cervix and I showed that it was getting ready it was exiting, but it was nowhere near the cavity before it was like up in the cavity by my lining where they would plant the embryo. On May 31st, it was just a little tiny little drop, and it was right near my cervix. So it was by the time I do my transfer next week, it's going to be gone. So I got the call from CNY Fertility from the nurse, and she said, "You've been cleared, and it looks like I'm going to have Dr. Corley." So I'm so excited for those who use CNY. Dr. Corley is known as he's a very known to have very successful transfers and get people knocked up. So I have never had Dr. Corley in the past. I've had other doctors there, and I would say all the REs, especially Dr. Kills, all of them are fantastic. but I've heard years and years people rave about Dr. Corley. So I was so excited to have my follow-up call with him, and I'm so excited to learn that he's going to be doing my transfer next week. So yes, I'm telling you, this is my season. I'm claiming this transfer number 5, as this is the one, because when I tell you divine appointments, like God has just been, from watching my previous videos, how everything has been lining up. I feel like everything in my, all the struggles, all the perseverance I've been going through is all for this moment. And I know it's going to work. I'm positive. I'm faith filled. And I just see the signs all around me that God is with me and it's going to work. So on the 31st, I got cleared. Everything looked good. They said, okay, you're ready to start preparing for your transfer. I got scheduled with the date. And I'm not going to give my exact date for my frozen embryo transfer. I just feel I want to keep that private. But just know it would be um, the week of, oh, as you're watching this video, it's going to be, this coming week. But the dates, it's going to be during the week of June 5th through the 11th. So just know that during this week, please send me your good vibes, your well wishes. Say a prayer for me as I'll be flying up to Syracuse, New York to have my transfer with Dr. Corley at CNY Fertility. I'm going to be transferring. I have 2 embryos left, but we're going to transfer. We'll see how it turns out. They're going to thaw out 1 embryo and maybe 2. We'll see on that day. I won't know. But the intent is to transfer just 1 embryo, especially because my uterus is cleared, all the scar tissue's gone. It's measured, and also on the 31st, it showed that my uterus was at multi-layered. I finally accomplish the level that I need to be. So I measure at trilaminar. Like I said, I've never been able to reach that except for one time. The one time, my very first transfer, my uterus got to a mildly trilaminar pattern, and that's where I got my chemical. So this makes me feel even more encouraged that it's going to work, because right now my lining is full multi-layered, and that's the condition they really like to see. They want your lining to measure at a 9 or higher, and they want your lining pattern to show multi-layered and also known as trilaminar. So your girl is there. I have never been able to reach this before, and I am there. And my estrogen and everything else look great. So we're good to go. So that day on the 31st, I got a new updated medical order, and I started the progesterone the next day. Oh, the dreaded PIO shot. And I also started, they put me on a dicycline, doxycycline, and that's kind of like to clear like any infection, like bacterial infections and virus, just kind of clear out your system. And one quick thing, I like my new binder, unicorns. So I'm keeping all my documents and all my lab work there. So on the 31st, I was cleared to start progesterone, and I'm on progesterone for, I think they have me on it for 6 days, and then I'll have my transfer after that. So I'm on progesterone cream, which is the endometrium. I take the endometrium insert to the insert, and I do endometrium 3 times a day. And I take it in the morning. I take my endometrium at 8 a.m., noon, and 8 p.m. I do my Lovenox shot in the morning in my stomach. It's 1 time a day. I do that at 8 o'clock as well. I do my progesterone. They had me started. I got cleared on May 31st. They had me start the next day. So on June 1st, I start doing my progesterone shots. This is the oil, and I'll show you the needles. I started doing my progesterone oil, and I know we all here have read video. You've seen and heard about these dreaded progesterone shots. These are the ones that you put you give yourself in your flanks, in your butt side. And don't be alarmed by the big needle. This is the needle that you use to insert the progesterone and oil. They give you a smaller needle. It's still quite intimidating, but it's not as big. to actually do the injection inside, in to do the injection in your muscle, in your butt muscle. So this is the actual size of the needle that's going in. But let me tell you, giving those shots, because as you know, I'm single, and I'm doing this to become a single mother by choice. I don't have, I have to give the shots to myself. So let me tell you, I'm gonna spare you from seeing that graphic, but it's quite a feat. I feel like Houdini because I have to stand in the mirror, lean over my bathroom counter, and like angle myself to be able to give the shot in my bedside. So I will give you some tips and tricks because I know some people have never learned from watching other videos about how to do the progesterone and oil shot. And what I've found is that it is recommended, and what helps me is to numb the area. I do my progesterone shots once a day at 11 a.m. And so what I do is about 15 minutes before I give myself the shot, I use a numbing cream. So this one is Asper cream with lidocaine. And I just put this on the area and let it sit. And then, well, of course, you're going to use the alcohol swab to cleanse the area. And what I do is, once I fill the syringe with the progesterone and oil, I take the syringe and I don't put the needle on it, but I take the syringe and I put it under one of my breasts, one of my boobs, because you want to warm up the oil. Some people like to put it on a heating pad, and I did that in previous transfers, but sometimes because I am still working remotely now, and sometimes I don't have time to go grab a heating pad and put it, put it in plug or monitor. I don't want to like overcook it or whatever. I just put it inside my bra under my breast and let my natural body heat warm up the oil for 15 minutes. So I do that around 10:30. I have an alarm set on my phone. So 10:30, I get a notification, and I'll go prepare my shot and get it all ready. And I put the syringe under my breast, and about 10:55, I go to the bathroom and I attach the needle to the syringe and give myself a shot. And then, of course, they give you a sharps container like this where you're going to store all of your needles, and where you dispose of all your needles. So this is an example of the Lovenox shot. My PIO shot looks, if I can grab one out of here. Needle looks like this. This is what the syringe looks. So as I mentioned, when before I give myself the shot, I will fill the syringe with the PIO fluid and put the syringe under my breast, a boob, to let the oil warm up gently. Because we found, and studies have shown, lots of other people testimonials on YouTube, and I can tell you from my own personal experience, the oil goes in easier in your muscle when it's warmed up. So, also some people like to use ice. The first day I iced the area, but I have read, and that day the oil had a hard time going in. So the next day I just used the numbing cream and just let it warm up a little bit, and that was easier. So definitely, it's working. It's a lot easier. And as you do give yourself more shots, you'll get better at it. So that's my recommendation: is to warm up the oil, use a numbing cream, use lidocaine or whatever, a tattoo numbing cream on the area, and make sure you use wipes to clean the area because we want to keep ourselves, safe and sanitary. So I do the strays 3 times a day as well. So I take a strays at 8, noon, and 8 p.m. And the endometrium I'm taking 3 times a day at 8, noon, and 8 p.m. That's the inserts. So inserts and estrogen 3 times a day. The Lovenox shot once a day in the stomach at 8 a.m. And then the PIO, progesterone and oil shot, is once a day at 11. So what helps me is to have alarms on my phone. And also, this is another thing I got from the FSA store. You can also buy this on Amazon. It's called the Buzzy, but this helps with icing and warming up the area to help. It's like an auto injector, and it will help to, it's a needle pain relief. So it vibrates and it also cools the area. So um, you put this on the area, like on your flanks where you're doing your progesterone and oil shots, and it will deflect the pain and when you do your shots. So I haven't used it yet, but I do have it, and the lidocaine's been working great for me. But as we go further along, in the name of Jesus, when I get pregnant, I'll be on PIO for up to 10 weeks, maybe more. So this will definitely be coming into use and handy. But for the meantime, I'm using the lidocaine numbing cream has been easier and just because I have to do it at 11 a.m. and I'm work, so I have to like take a break, run to the restroom, and give myself a shot. So this is a little bit more discreet and it works faster and is more easily accessible than having a vibrating noise as I'm doing my progesterone and old shots. So okay, so that I don't want the video to get too long, and I think I'm already clocking in probably close to 20 minutes. So I'm going to end it there, and I'm going to just say thank you so much for your prayers and support, and continue to keep them going, sending me all your well wishes, your positive vibes, your feedback. I took some time off. I took 2 weeks off before I started this transfer because I have been working so hard and under a lot of stress, a lot of things going on at work. I took off 2 weeks and was able to obtain and negotiate to be able to work remotely starting on May 23rd. So now I fully work from home. And when I tell you that, like I said, all these things are working together for my good, and it's nobody but I'm a Christian, so I love to give all the glory back to God that He made this possible because now I'm so relaxed. I need to take that self care time, and I did. And I started acupuncture, and acupuncture is great. And I also started going to a chiropractor. So I can tell you things, I feel so refreshed. The past 2 weeks, I've been doing a lot of self care and pampering. And so I gave myself a facial. I took off time. I actually took myself on a little vacay to Orlando. Went by myself just to have some time to just do what I want to do. Sleep in, rest, read. I went and to saw went swam a lot. I love to swim, which is a great relaxing activity. I went to the Titanic Museum, which is fantastic. I love the movie, and seeing the actual artifacts was really emotional and great and exciting. And I just rested. And that's what I really needed. And then after that, I started going. I went to the chiropractor for 2 weeks, and he says now, like, to get the blood flowing, one of the important things as you're getting ready to transfer, and because I had the UFE last year that cut one of my vein vessels, blood vessels to my uterine lining, it's very important that I get blood flowing to my uterus and reproductive area. So by me going to acupuncture and going to the chiropractor for the past 2 weeks, getting my back in alignment, getting the blood moving and flowing to my lower areas, has helped a lot. So now my back is in full alignment. I got the blood flowing. Acupuncture has helped me to just feel relaxed, and it's been proven. Studies have been proven and shown to that acupuncture is very beneficial in helping women conceive and helping your body to get ready for embryo transfer. So I've been doing that for, as I mentioned, I had a Groupon that I got a couple months ago, and I've been going to the chiropractor for the past 3 weeks. And CNY, they also have the day of my transfer. I've already got that scheduled. They recommend that I'm doing acupuncture before and immediately after my transfer, and then I'll have acupuncture again 3 days here in Florida when I get back home. So that's all scheduled because that has been shown to help with implantation. So I'm very excited about that. My transfer will be around noon, 12:30. On that day, I'm not giving the exact date, but just this week, just say a prayer for me. 12 o'clock. That would be wonderful. I appreciate it. And I'm also treating myself that morning to a massage. So she is going, I'm going in being fully relaxed. I'm staying positive. I love the beach, and the beach is kind of like my relaxation place. So I've been spending a lot of times in the weekends. Like I said, the previous months have been just really busy and hectic, and work has been really, really stressful. But the past 3 weeks, I took time out for myself because I know I only have 2 embryos left, and I want to give myself the best chances that I can. So I'm so proud of myself for putting myself first. Sometimes that's really hard. I've been a caretaker. I'm naturally a nurturer. um, it's natural for me to put myself last and see about others and give my all to my job. But you know what? No. This time around, I'm taking the time and I'm putting myself first, and I'm investing in self care, and I'm so proud of myself. And I know you can see the glow and the happiness on my face because I literally did it and invested in me and took time for me. And I'm keeping myself. It's so important about who you associate with, and in the space that you have. I'm keeping myself in a positive, protective, loving bubble. My sister's here with me, and it's been so wonderful. We've been laughing, having great conversations, and just encouraging one another. My aunt, my dad, they're all being so supportive, and some of my really, really close friends that I've chosen to tell. And you all the words and the feedback is so encouraging, and it's so important. Half the battle is mental, and physical. So it's trying to eat and put yourself. I started doing a little bit of keto and eating healthier and cutting out, no sodas, none of those. Cutting my sugar because I'm a sugar. I love cookies and all that. I've been limiting my snacks, eating a lot of berries. My acupuncturist and my RE said, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries. Those are great for you to eat when you're getting ready for transfer. I started drinking pomegranate juice. Palm juice is great for helping to thicken your lining if you're having lining issues. That helps as well. And drinking warm fluids. So I've been drinking the pink stork fertility tea, and that's been helping. So I know all these things have worked together to get me to where I am. So tomorrow, June June 3rd, I'll be flying up to Syracuse to CNY. And sometime during the next week, I'll be having my embryo transfer. So thank you so much. Say your prayers. And thank you for your positive vibes. And I'll be coming back to you in like a week or two with an update. I will be sharing videos from my transfer from my trip to New York so you can see how the process was and how it all went. And I don't know the gender of my embryos. I didn't get them tested. My doctor, Dr. Kilt, says he doesn't really recommend getting PGT testing. And he feels like every embryo should have a chance. And especially because I only had two embryos that made it to day 5, then I definitely wasn't interested in getting genetic testing. I didn't want anything to be discarded. I only had 2. I want to give each one a shot. So send me your well wishes and look forward to the next video. And I'm not saying that I have a gender preference, but I know the goal is to have a healthy baby. But as you see, I got a new pedicure on Thursday. And as we see, let's think pink. If I had to give a gender preference, I love my nephew. We already have a boy in the family. It would be so great to have a girl. So I'm going into my transfer. Let's think positive. I'm thinking positive. I'm thinking pink. Of course, I'll be happy if it's blue. But we just want a positive test, positive pregnancy. We want that positive HGC level. So thank you all for your support. Have a wonderful Sunday, and I'll be in touch soon. I love you all. Bye. And next time you see me, I'll be pregnant, picked up, and waiting for confirmation, which is also called pregnant until proven otherwise, PUPO, PUPO. So see you on the next one. Bye.